Does it show I'm live? Yes, it does. Cool. All right, there we go. All right. What up, Kaiser? What up, Mystery Pyre? How's it going? What up, everyone? We got a new comic book day. Actually had some pretty good comics. Welcome. I thought I had the chat on the screen, but I did not have a chance to actually check that, so whatever. Anyways, yeah, we got Knightfight, the new issue of Knightfight. We got Absolute Superman with Juan Fajeda on art, which was actually killer. I haven't read Absolute Superman since issue 2. Not much, mister. Oh, well. That was loud. Let's change that real quick. So it makes the noise, but chat doesn't actually show up. Cool. Sick feature. Oh, wait, there we go. Now, okay, it's just way behind. The chat delay is crazy behind. All right, now we got it. Let's go. You didn't get a chance to pick up your books? All right, so... Well, there were some good comics this week. I was actually pretty happy with what came out this week. I will say, I guess we'll start off with Boss Battle, because I think that's one where spoilers don't really matter, and I don't think a whole lot of people care too much. Boss Battle is the KO tie-in, where you have like DC characters fighting Mortal Kombat characters and like characters from The Boys like Homelander and stuff. And Jeremy Adams wrote it, so I was excited for it. Sadly, it's not very good, because I like Jeremy Adams a lot, but man, he this was not it. This was not the move. Sadly, let's put this. All right, that's easier to see. Chaff is down there. That's better. Yeah, Boss Battle was not very good. So first off, it comes up with like some really BS reason for why they're fighting, but I was fine with that. I don't really need a coherent reason for why these characters are fighting. It's like just let them fight. And what's that? How they have it happen is if you remember at the end of issue 3 of KO, I gotta figure out why that's triggering. Let's mute that. There we go. That should be good. Boss Battle, Knightfight are the only books in my polls. Such a week. There were some. Let's see. What were the JSA was really good this week. I like JSA a lot. That was probably my favorite. Surprisingly, I liked Absolute Superman this week, and this was my first time reading Absolute Superman since I dropped off at issue 2. And Batman number 6 was actually good. If you didn't like the beginning of Fractions Batman, these last 2 issues have been pretty good. Issues 5 and 6. I'm liking what they're doing. But the end of issue 6 got me a little worried. I won't spoil it currently since it is Wednesday and I know a lot of people haven't read it. Although, man, no one really respects spoilers at all when it comes to comics. Like the second, like midnight Wednesday, like people are posting spoilers on Twitter, like full pages everywhere. Just like, oh, I can't believe this happened. It's like, damn, dude, people didn't have a chance. They didn't even have a single second. Gotta get those clicks, you know. But also, Ultimate Wolverine was good. I would say Ultimate Wolverine was probably the best it's ever looked. Also, it's the same artist who's been doing a good job, but just like what he got to work with this issue was cool, and like his panel layouts and everything. I really enjoyed the way that book looked. We got to see Wolverine tearing people apart. It was pretty cool. We got Lady Deathstrike makes her first appearance in a new issue of Ultimate Wolverine, and that was cool. And Ultimate Wolverine's like. So as far as the Ultimate universe goes, yeah, I read Absolute Superman. I liked it. I was surprised by the fact that I liked it. But as far as the Ultimate universe goes, like I read 2 issues of the Ultimates and I noped out. I thought it was terrible. I read like the first 8 issues or so of Ultimate Spider-Man and I was enjoying it, but then Hickman did his Hickman thing where the pacing just hit a wall, and also there was hardly any Spider-Man at that point, and apparently got even worse after that. And Ultimate Wolverine I've liked. I've been really enjoying it throughout the entire thing, but every time I see people talking about it, everyone talks about how they hate Ultimate Wolverine, how bad it is, and how like it ruined the initial premise, and like the premise was interesting and then it's bad. I'm like, but then I see people praising the Ultimates. I'm like, what? I just have a completely different way of enjoying these comics than like comic Twitter. It's very interesting. But Ultimate Wolverine's pretty good. But anyways, back to boss battle. So boss battle at the end of issue 3, you see the 4 remaining contenders, which are Lex, Superman, Joker, and Wonder Woman, and they're going to face off against the absolute versions of the Trinity. So Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman, absolute versions of them. And it's like, oh, that's going to be set up for the next issue. So in KO, in the boss battle, it opens up with the World Forger and Gorilla Grodd. They just escaped after getting their ass beat by Darkseid / Booster Gold. And World Forger's real hurt. And he's like, all right, I'm going to do the... He goes to where the last 4 contestants are. He's like, I'm going to pause time. He pauses time. He's like, I'm going to set you guys up into your own little place to where you can go and fight these other challengers to get more Omega energy, because you need it to fight these absolute people that you're about to fight. Now, I'm fine with whatever BS reasons to get them to fight. But the thing that was really stupid about that to me is I always thought the mainline versions were more powerful than the absolute versions. Like, I thought mainline Superman was way more powerful than absolute Superman. I thought mainline Batman's way, like, even though mainline Batman isn't here, but I thought mainline Batman's much more powerful, well, much more competent, and would beat the tar out of absolute Batman. The only one I could see that would be kind of comparable would be absolute Wonder Woman and mainline Wonder Woman. I still think mainline Wonder Woman would beat her, but I think those are the only two that are kind of comparable. So when they're like, man, you need a lot more to beat a giant Batman, a Superman that's not near as good, and then Wonder Woman, who's the only one that's kind of comparable. I was like, I don't get why the World Forger thinks that. Like, I think they could beat them pretty handedly. So I didn't really get that. Ultimate sucks. I agree that Ultimate Spider-Man felt more like everyone else's book rather than Spider-Man. Yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man started off good because you were starved for good Spider-Man and Peter and Mary Jane, and then it tanked hard. But anyways, after that, you get to the boss battles. Also, World Forger brings in other heroes for some reason. He brings in like Plastic Man and Black Lightning, and I don't understand why these other heroes show up. It's like, especially because the book feels too crowded. When you're reading it, you kind of just want like the battles to happen. Also, I think I've maybe read one issue of Red Sonja, so I have no idea how powerful Red Sonja is. I have no idea if she's supposed to be at a level where she could challenge Wonder Woman. But a lot of these fights feel like they should be over really fast. Like, the only one that feels like it shouldn't is Joker versus Annabelle. And that has some fun stuff in it, because Joker gets jump scared by Annabelle, so that was fun. But the other stuff, like Superman versus Homelander, like, I feel like Superman should just wipe the floor with him instantly. Lex versus Samantha Strong, who's like that bear from Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. Like, Lex, we just saw Lex outsmart and destroy Etrigan. We just saw him beat some Green Lanterns. We saw what he did at the beginning of KO, and we know about Lex during the history of the DC universe. Why is this bear lady, like, what? Like, Lex is running from her the whole issue, and it's just really stupid. It's like, why is this happening? It was really dumb. Do you talk about MCU movies here? We'll talk about everything. Right now, I'm just talking about the new comics account today, but I'll talk about anything. Whatever, just put it in the chat, and I'm down to go. I'll go down any rabbit hole, pretty much. Yeah, and I was really disappointed because it's Jeremy Adams, and he did the best KO tie-in, which was the Hawkman Aquaman tie-in. That tie-in was great and should have been the blueprint for all the DC KO tie-ins. That one was great. But then after that, I don't know what he did here. And he did the Kids Are All Fight special last week, which was really bad. Just two of these special. And again, I think this is just like more KO stuff and maybe, I don't know, deadlines or something. Because Jeremy Adams is one of the best writers in comics right now. He's really good. It's just two of these KO tie-ins he did were not very good. Can I give my top 5 MCU movies? Go ahead, dude. Yeah, this is why they need Ultimate Paul. Exactly. Hopefully we get Paul in the new Spider-Man movie. That'd be lit. But anyways, they fight for a little bit. You get like just a few panels of each fight, and then World Forger like he's weakened, so he's like losing his powers, and he's not able to keep the fight separate, so everything's converges, and so all the fights like converge on one another. You get like a big splash page, and it's kind of like I just don't really care. And then the fights end. And World Forge is like, all right, I've given you guys the Omega energy to take on the Absolute Trinity. And again, it's like, I feel like I feel like Superman, mainline Superman, so Prime Superman, Prime Lex, and Prime Wonder Woman should wipe the floor with the Absolute Trinity without any type of buffer, without any like enhancement. I mean, that's how I feel. What's up, Xavier? Infinity War, Endgame, No Way Home, Guardians 3, Thunderbolts is that high. The others I can see, like my top 5's different, but I am very surprised Thunderbolts is that high. Do you really feel like that, or do you think that's more recency bias? No, do not grab the boss battle tie, and it's not worth it. I would not recommend it, Bryson. It is not worth it. The Knightfight, I would say, if you're interested in Knightfight, I like the new issue of Knightfight. Knightfight's pretty good. And it's Dan Mora, so it looks really good. So I like Knightfight, though, because we saw in the last issue... that X-Pro RD, thanks for the sub, dude. But we saw in the last issue he went to Damian's world, because Knightfight, each issue, the Heart of Apocalypse is putting Bruce, because Bruce died in the first issue of KO or got defeated. So the Heart has put him in, which is funny because everyone else just gets turned into a statue and doesn't get to go on a fun little side mission. But Batman, because he like did his Batman thing, gets to do his little side mission. So the Heart of Apocalypse has been putting him into like these alternate realities it creates where each of his Robins have become Batman, see the future they did. So it was like Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, and Tim Drake, and now we're on to Damian. And the Damian world's really nice. Like everything's really nice, and Damian's got a son named Alfred, and Bruce is there, and he's old, and he's real happy. And in this issue, he's got to try to figure out how to beat it, and it's pretty good. I like it. I won't get too much into spoilers because this was actually a pretty good issue, and anyone that hasn't read it that is going to read it, I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's pretty good. I like it because I've been kind of mixed on Knightfight. It's always looked good though because it's Dan Moira, but Batman with a year prep time beats any comic book character. That's just, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the Bat God stuff. I don't buy into that. Booster Gold's 4th anniversary today. Oh, I did not realize that. Have you watched all 2000s X-Men movies? Yes, I grew up on those movies. I remember going to movie gallery to rent them because I wasn't allowed to watch them when they came out because I was too young. So I went and I remember saving my money and going to movie gallery. That was the name of we didn't have Blockbuster close. We had a place called Movie Gallery. I remember going and renting the DVDs. This is so cool. Kind of surprised they didn't go more to Tim's Batman. It seemed like he kind of got the short end of the stick between the 4 of them. I guess kind of. Man, we can get into the new issue of Batman. That's got some Tim stuff in this. So, like I said earlier, Batman, since Matt Fraction took over, I haven't been the biggest fan of it, but these last 2 issues, issues 5 and 6, are actually really good. I love issue 5, and I really liked issue 6, which just came out today. And it's Jorge Jimenez, so of course it looks fantastic. But this one's really good, and I really enjoyed it. And at the end of the issue, since we're just talking about Tim Drake, I'll get into the Tim Drake stuff. Tim Drake talks about he's getting real serious with Bernard, which if you don't know who Bernard is, that's his boyfriend. That's Tim Drake's boyfriend. And he's like, man, I'm getting real serious with Bernard, and I don't want to... He's like, I don't want to keep lying to him. And then Bruce has a good response where he's just like, oh, that's fine. You know, I'm happy. He's like, you know, what else have we been fighting for if not, you know, your ability to go and just live a happy life. And he's like, he's like, you can always come back, but I hope you never have to. So they have a nice little sweet moment. But it's funny though, because then Tim goes to talk to Damian to tell him that he's quitting being Robin. And Damian's like, quitter, go away. I don't want to talk to you. And then Tim's like, oh, you know, the world's so much bigger than the Batcave and being Robin, and I hope you figure that out. And it's like, well, if you've been reading Batman and Robin, Damian already figured that out last story arc, like over a year ago. Which, if you're not reading Batman and Robin, it's incredible. It's the best book at DC. I love what Philip Kennedy Johnson's doing there. Sadly, it's going to end soon because he's exclusive at Marvel now, which makes me sad. But Damian already went and has his own side thing where he started working at the hospital because he got more connected with his other grandfather, not Ra's al Ghul, but Thomas Wayne. And it was really cool seeing Philip Kennedy Johnson explore that side because Bruce gives Damian gives him Thomas Wayne's journal. And so he goes through that and he gets more connected to him because, obviously never met Thomas Wayne. And so it was really cool. And he even has a moment where he talks to Bruce and he talks about how maybe he doesn't want to be Robin anymore. Maybe he wants to explore other things. And so he volunteers at the hospital now because there's a doctor there that he really connected with also. And he goes through some stuff. There's a moment where a girl almost dies because of Damian, and it really has a big effect on him and changes him as a person. And that has kept going on to this new story arc that Philip Kennedy Johnson is doing. It's like, man, PKJ is actually doing some really great work on Damian, which no one has done in a while since Tomasi, and it was really cool. I really like what he's done. What about John Kent's boyfriend? I don't know, dude. I haven't read really anything with John Kent other than the because he's not in he's not in Superman like at all. And I'm not reading Action, which is also a throwback book. But I read the Kids Are All Fight special, which didn't have his boyfriend in it, so I have no idea what's going on with John's boyfriend. If you started watching the MCU and you never seen it, would you start in release date or chronological order? I would do release date still. I don't think you need to do chronological order. Are you excited for the X-Men coming to the MCU with a soft reboot? I'm tentatively excited for anything MCU. I like Matt Faction's characterization of Damian. Yeah, his characterization of Damian is what everyone else's is, which is just they just keep him at that bratty little 12-year-old that's just brash and headstrong, and there's no actual character development for him. That no one takes on. The few writers that actually have written him well, they don't take anything from it, which is sad. Because I wish Matt Fraction knows what Philip Kennedy Johnson did with Damian in Batman Robin, actually used that, but he doesn't. Are you 100% issue 5 was the best so far? Everything before was everything before was because the first issue of Matt Fraction's Batman was fine. It wasn't great, but there's some stuff I liked about it. And then the following issues are not too good. In issue 2, there's a part where these criminals hold up a truck and they execute a guy, and then Tim Drake intervenes and it's been a bit since I've read it, but if I remember correctly, then the criminals flee and a cop shoots one of them in the back, and Tim Drake gets very upset about it. But it's I'm pretty sure there's already a precedent. I think there was a court ruling on it that if deadly criminals are fleeing, you can shoot them. You can shoot them in the back. It's not because people are you can't shoot an unarmed person that's running, or you can't shoot someone that's running away, because they are armed and they executed a guy. They killed someone. So they could go and kill more people. Thus, you think it would be justified to shoot those people. It's not oh, back's turned, can't shoot them. It's well, they just executed a guy. So yeah, but Tim got really pissed about it, and so did Batman. They're we're not for police brutality. You can't be shooting these guys. Well, they executed a guy. Remember that just being really weird. What's going on here? Also, it's hilarious anytime Batman's no brutality. It's you're Batman. That's your thing, is brutalizing criminals. Bernard and Paul, some of the worst characters of all time. Don't compare Paul to Bernard, dude. Don't compare Paul to Bernard, dude. You like the Memento arc or the Quiet Man better? Ooh, they're both great. I think I'm liking the Quiet Man arc better. Both are really good, but I think I like the Quiet Man arc better because it just feels a little different than what it feels a little more outside what PKJ normally does. I like pretty much everything he's done, but I like that he's expanding a little more with this arc. It feels a little different. I think I like the Quiet Man arc better, but both are really good, especially because we're starting from a point where he's already put in the work with Damian, to where with the Memento arc he had to put in the work to be hey, Damian's not just some shithead little brat. He had to put in the work to show you where Damian's at now, and to where in this arc Damian's there and we're working from that point. So I think that's also part of it. Both are great, though. Who's the best live-action Batman? So the best Bruce Wayne, to me, is Christian Bale, and the best Batman is Pattinson. I liked what he did in the Batman. I thought he was a really good Batman. But we still haven't gotten a great Batman action-wise. Because, we had that one fight scene from Batfleck, and that was it. Well, that action-wise, we haven't really gotten a great Batman. Red Pill or Blue Pill? Red Pill, X-Men Origins, Wolverine, Toby, Spider-Man 4, and Andrew. So they Blue Pill, Nightcrawler, Sloan, Tom Holland. So I would go with Red Pill, I suppose. Do Marvel contribute fresh new writers that know how to write in the old? I mean, they should definitely do a creative overhaul. A reboot probably would be good for Marvel at this point. The whole sliding timeline and constantly just like readjusting but not full reboot. They probably should reboot at this point. But the reboot doesn't mean anything if you don't change creatively. Like they need to get rid of obviously all those editors that have been there forever that suck. They need to get rid of those people. They need to bring in new creatives. Getting PKJ on an exclusive contract was very smart and a good idea. But they need to put their talent to use also. Like I talked about in my video last year where Patrick Gleason's on covers. It's like he's one of the best in the industry and you've got him on covers. Like cough up the cash and get him on interiors, get him on a book, like do something. And they really need to, because I know people debate all day, like I see it on Twitter all the time where it's like Marvel doesn't actually have a trinity like DC does. It's like Marvel does have a trinity. It's Wolverine, Spider-Man, Hulk. That is their trinity. Those are their three most popular. That's it. Those three always need to have a good title for each of them at all times. Like their main title should always be good. Infernal Hulk right now is so good because again, it's Philip Kennedy Johnson. Wolverine is terrible. I like Ultimate Wolverine, but the main Wolverine book is terrible, sadly, because it's Saladin Ahmed. It's really bad, and for some reason they keep giving him books. Like he was on Daredevil and no one liked his Daredevil. Now he's on Wolverine and Wolverine's not good. And I don't get that guy. Yeah, I know he wrote a good Black Bolt comic 87 years ago. I don't know why Saladin Ahmed is constantly given big titles. So get him off Wolverine, get a good creative on there. And then for Spider-Man, you got Joe Kelly, who's a good writer, but he's taken over in just this horrific era of Spider-Man. Also, you have the Spidey editors that, make things stay the same for Spider-Man. And like Norman Osborn Spider-Man or something. It's, yeah, so when only one of the Marvel Trinity is actually a good comic right now, that's not a good place to be for Marvel. That's, I think, the most important thing for Marvel is they need to, if they ever overhaul us, be like, we need to make sure the Trinity all has a good title right now. Because, at least with DC, although mainline Wonder Woman ain't good, at least Absolute Wonder Woman's good, but mainline Batman is getting good, and obviously Absolute Batman is killer, and then mainline Superman's good. So at least they've, kind of got their Trinity under control to where Marvel does not. Have you watched Wonder Man? No. If I maybe sometime I'll watch it. I don't know. I have no plans to right now. If I ever get bored or something, I don't even have Disney Plus, so I can't even watch it right now. Unless I sailed the high seas, but I don't really have any plans right now. And I like Yaya though. I like him. And the trailers look interesting, but I just don't really care enough, especially because Disney Plus shows generally aren't very good. What's your favorite individual Marvel comic of all time? You're talking single issue? Single issue, I have no idea. It's hard to say. Have you played the Sonic Spider-Man games? I've played the first one, and I have the second one, but I haven't played the second one yet. I'm going to stream it sometime. Whenever I get the chance, I'm going to stream it sometime. Where's Gleason? Yeah, Gleason is, I believe he's still exclusive to Marvel, because I know he signed an exclusive Marvel contract years and years ago, and I believe he's still on that. But they just have him on covers. Every time I see him post on Twitter, he's just posting hey, I did a cover for this. And that's it. They relegated him to covers. Unfortunate, because they signed him to exclusive, and they probably can't afford his page rate, or they don't want to pay him. And so they're like, we'll just pay him for covers every now and then, and that's it. Yeah, it's unfortunate Wolverine's really bad right now. Because Wolverine's my favorite Marvel character. And I really wish they would have a good title for him, but sadly his main title hasn't been good since the beginning of Percy's run. But Punisher Red Band just ended, and we're going to be getting the Punisher ongoing for Percy soon. I hope the ongoing's good, because I really liked the I really liked the Red Band series. If you guys haven't read that, if you're not caught up with what's going on with Frank Castle right now, I highly recommend reading the Red Band miniseries. It's 5 issues. Really good. I think Julius Ota was the artist. Draws the biggest Frank Castle you've ever seen. He's huge, and it's great. We can talk about that real quick. Do you stream regularly? I stream when I can on YouTube. On Twitch, I stream pretty regularly, which my Twitch is linked in the description, but that's where I play games. Here's mainly where I talk about comics, and I'll play comic book related video games here. Like I streamed Arkham Origins for Christmas Eve, and I'll be streaming Spider-Man 2 hopefully soon when I get time. I'd like to start streaming regularly again on YouTube. It's just like figuring out a schedule and stuff with life, you know. Yeah, no, you're supposed to let them go. Shoot the lady on the next spot before you do anything. Exactly. That's why I didn't get like Bruce and Tim being so mad. It's like they don't have batarangs. They're not superheroes. Like they just executed this guy, and you're getting mad at them for shooting the criminal in the back who executed someone. It's like, tried last issue of Absolute Superman. It's better than the first couple when I dropped it. Still kind of meh. Are you talking about the issue that came out today or the one before? Because the one today was really good. So I dropped Absolute Superman after issue 2 because I didn't care about it. I didn't care about the Kal-El in it. Like there was a lot of Krypton stuff and I just could not care less about this Kal. It's like I don't care about this guy. He's not interesting. He's not anyone I care about. Like I'm fine with a different version of Superman. Let's see if I could get into, and I didn't think it was very good. This issue I picked up because I've seen Juan Fajeda posted on Twitter. He's the artist for this issue, and I was like, oh, it looks interesting. Hawkman's in it, and so I checked it out. It was really good. This issue, was it 15 or 16? Absolute Superman, was it 16? Really good issue. Absolute Superman 16 was really good, surprisingly. It is all just so it's Absolute Hawkman shows up, which if you don't remember, Absolute Hawkman's first issue, his first appearance was when he killed Oliver Queen. It was in that like Absolute Villains special. I can't remember what the name of the issue was. It was some like just special one-off issue. And in that you have that like Oliver Queen is talking to Roy Harper over the phone. He's talking about how he's preparing to go be a vigilante. He's like shooting his arrows and everything. And then later in the issue, you see all the villains from the Absolute Universe like talking to each other at like a round table, and they're all talking. And then Absolute Hawkman just comes in and just drops the body of Oliver Queen. It's like took him out before he could even really get started. It's like, ooh. So Hawkman's a little different in this universe, obviously. And then this issue, we see him talking to Superman. He's kind of like, also we see his origin, which was he was an archaeologist in the 40s, and he then, you know, got his powers, and he started off by killing Nazis and fighting in World War II, which is pretty cool. And then he got involved with Lazarus, and he works for them. And when he's talking to Superman, he's like, hey man, I see you're doing some good stuff, but I want to tell you, stop messing with Lazarus. You can still do good stuff, but you should work for Lazarus. You're never going to beat them. They're like the elites that run the world. You're never going to beat them. They're too large. And Kal is essentially like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not going to work with the people that want to do all these horrible things. But they have a good conversation going back and forth, and I really enjoyed it. And then they, at the end of the issue, they get in a little bit of a brawl, but then yeah. It's really good. I was surprised because Jason Aaron is very hit or miss for me, but this was a hit. I liked it. Top 5 favorite Marvel villains of all time? This is why I feel like DC has a way better villains. Especially also, though, because I feel like Marvel a lot of times tries to make their villains good guys. I feel like every time you check in on a Marvel villain, it's like, oh, this guy's good right now. It's like, oh, why is that guy good right now? Not that DC doesn't do it too, but I feel like Marvel does it more. But as far as my favorites... my mind immediately goes to X-Men villains. Because, like, I really like Magneto. I like Sabretooth. Like, I like Kraven a lot. Going away from X-Men villains. I don't know. I'd really have to think for top 5 Marvel villains. Because, again, I feel like DC, like, anytime I think about comic villains, it all goes to DC. For Marvel, if I thought about it, I could come with it. But off the top of my head, I'm not sure my top 5 Marvel villains of all time are. We say Tobey Spider-Man 3 is overhated. Not now. I feel like people have kind of come around on it. It's not a very good movie, but it's you understand because Raimi was like this stupid the stupid studio caused Raimi to have to use Venom and he didn't want to and shove a lot of things. There's good stuff in Spider-Man 3. It's not very good, but it's better than a lot of trash movies, and there's some good stuff in it. I think most people have come around on Spider-Man and understand what it is. I think it's kind of treated how it should be now. At the time, people absolutely hated it, which is kind of understandable because you're coming off Spider-Man 2, which is still one of the best comic movies ever. We say that due to my Lauren comic bias, the fact that in 5 seconds, we say Multiverse of Madness is the worst MCU movie. I don't think Multiverse of Madness is the worst MCU movie. It's not great. The script for that really lets that movie down. You reading Detective Comics at all recently? No, I have not. I have not read it in a while, actually. I don't know the last time I read a little bit of what's his name? Who's the guy that's currently writing New Gods? I read it when he was writing it, and he did like some 20-issue arc, and I read a little bit of it, and it was really bad. But then Tom Taylor took over, and I haven't read any of it. I have not read Detective Comics in a while. I heard something. Wasn't Bruce like banging Joe Chill's daughter or something? I heard something like that, but I have not checked it out. Yeah, the absolute Superman Hawkman issue is good. What's up, Andreas? Life's been good. Can't complain. Would you ever host the Oscars? Yeah, that would be interesting. Especially, well, yeah, it depends on the movies that are there. Sometimes they annoy me. A lot of the times the Oscars annoys me with their nominations. And then all that stuff coming out about how people don't even watch like half the movies that they're supposed to nominate. So annoying. Spider 3 is the first movie my 7-year-old daughter cried at. Nice. Which part did she cry at? Was it Harry dying? Which live action Superman could beat Homelander? Oh, which live action Superman could Homelander beat? Oh. Which live action Superman could Homelander beat? I don't know if there's any of them, like, other than, the old ones. Like the original OGs where, like, jumping a building in a single pound and stuff. Other than that, I don't know if he could beat any. He could maybe beat, like, CW Superman, because prior to the Superman and Lois show, he was kind of a jobber. Have you read Knightfight? Yes, I did. I like this new issue of Knightfight. It's pretty good. I've been kind of mixed on Knightfight overall, but I like this one. I think the overall premise of Knightfight is kind of stupid. Because it's just Batman things where it's like everyone else gets turned into a statue, but Batman has a super secret way to where he's not turned into a statue, and he gets to go against the heart, and he could possibly come back into the tournament. It's like, oh, because he's Batman. I started reading comics roughly a year and a half ago. My favorite character to read is Daredevil. I feel like he has the most consistently good writing. You are correct. Sadly, that has stopped now. There's a real nice lineage of writers for Daredevil, like really good, where like each person it would go to is like, oh, this person's really good. And then Saladin got on it and was terrible. And now we're going to, is it Leah Williams who's taken over? Where they're rebooting with a new #1, by the way. Shout out Marvel. So it was like, oh, wow, we got other. But yeah, Daredevil, you're right. Daredevil generally had a pretty good one. And yeah, Daredevil's got some really great comics. So that's cool that you got into comics, though. Sick. Captain Marvel is the worst MCU movie I have ever seen. I think that's the only MCU movie I haven't seen. I haven't seen Captain Marvel or the Marvels. I think those are the only 2 MCU movies I haven't seen. I think I've seen every other MCU movie, I'm pretty sure. That did happen, yes. That arc was... Oh, okay, the Joe Chill thing did. It's just hard for me to check out a in-canon Tom Taylor book, because I feel like he does all his best work out of canon. In canon. Although it has to say the movie sucks to the Oscars. Do you think Superman 2025 is a failure that people say it is? No, I think people way overblow that so much. Especially because, like, I remember I was talking to Wes about it, and Wes was like, I think it's going to make $1 billion. I was like, it is not going to make $1 billion. I remember even in my comments, someone asked me how much they thought it was going to make, and I said 600 million. I was basically on the dot, dude. I don't know why people thought it was going to make so much money. Like, you have the confusion with the Snyder stuff. You have people regarding DC as the company that makes bad movies. You have Batman, like the second most popular superhero currently, that only made like 800 million with The Batman, which was actually a good movie, had good marketing. So, of course, Superman's not going to make $1 billion. So So no, I don't think it was a failure. I don't think it was like a huge, gigantic success or anything, but I think it was a step in the right direction. But I think people that are overblowing it, talking about how it's like this huge failure, I think are stupid. And also, it like fanfare, like a lot of people liked it. A lot of people have watched it since it came out in theaters. I think it was on Letterboxd does their awards. If you don't know what Letterboxd is, it's like social media for movies. So you go on there and people talk about movies, they review movies. You can log what movies you watch. You can make lists, all that. I think it was marked as like the most rewatched movie of 2025 was Superman. So a lot of people watched the movie, like after it came out, after it was taken out of theaters. Like a lot of people went and watched it. Like it probably did really well on HBO Max. So yeah. And when it came out, that was so cool having the summer of Superman, though. Seeing like Superman stuff ever, like walking around the mall and seeing Superman stuff. That was really cool. I was happy about that. Marvel's a mess right now. Yes, it is. My day's going well. Which Superman adaptation do you think is the most powerful? Probably Reeves. As far as live action goes, I mean, he literally did turn back time. A lot of people are so dishonest with the James Gunn Superman movie. It's crazy the way people talk about it. Like, I'm fine if you didn't like the movie or whatever. That's fine. Everyone can have their own opinion. I have my own problems with the movie. I talked about in my review. But, man, people are so dishonest with the way they talk about it. Like, it's really... Like, it's like a weird personal thing. It's weird. I don't understand... I get the Snyder people because I understand how Snyder people are, but like the people outside of that, the way they talk about that Superman movie, it's odd. I don't understand it. Devil's True has been good. I need to reissue 3, but how Leah Williams is still getting work is beyond me. Yeah, how a lot of people in comics are getting work is really beyond me. But also, you saw there was that leaked group chat where a ton of people were talking shit about Scott Snyder and the Absolute Universe. And it's like, the Absolute Universe is like really helping keep the comic book industry afloat right now. You should be thankful. But they're all like talking shit like bitter dumbasses. Bunch of bitches. Like that was reported on like, a week or 2 ago. So yeah, the comics industry makes no sense. Up is down, left is right. Yeah. What about DCKO Final Boss? It wasn't very good. PS4 had the worst MCU Disney Plus debut. That's funny. That movie, man, I enjoyed the first part of Fantastic Four, and then after they get home from Galactus, from their first encounter with Galactus, it's downhill big time. I'm so bored watching the Batman. I like the Batman. It's basically just 7, but with Batman, but I really like 7, and I like Batman, so marrying the two. I really enjoy Batman, the Batman. I think it's really good. It's probably my second favorite live-action Batman movie, behind The Dark Knight. I like seeing Batman actually try some detective work. I like seeing Batman not being perfect and failing. I don't like the Bruce Wayne. I do have issues with the movie. Like, I don't like Riddler being a 4chan guy. I think that was retarded. I thought that was really stupid when he's on the forum. He's like, hey, guys, thanks for... That was so stupid. And I don't like his Bruce Wayne. Like, his Bruce Wayne just acting like Batman outside the costume was really stupid. But outside of that, I think the movie's pretty good, and I really like it. And I think it's one of the best-looking comic movies. Like, the cinematography is great. And I really like Bruce and Selina's dynamic in it and how they work together. And I like Colin Farrell's Penguin. I like Gordon in it. Like, I think the Batman's pretty good. I thought Gunn Superman was good, but I have no desire to rewatch Reeves' Batman every week, though. I would say the Batman is better than 2025 Superman. But I watched Superman a lot in theaters because Man of Steel came out in 2013, and that was the last Superman movie. I saw that twice in theaters. And then I didn't get to see another Superman in theaters until 2025. So I'm like, I'm going to see a Superman movie in theaters like as many times as I can. I saw it like 5 times. Also, I have AMC A-list, so it doesn't cost me a penny more to see the movie again because I pay like $23 a month for the membership. So it doesn't cost me. I'm not paying like $20 every time to go see the movie. People have tricked themselves into thinking that if James Gunn fails, then Snyder will come back. Also got pulled into a bunch of culture war. Yeah, there was a lot of culture war stuff. Also, I think James Gunn is the main reason why people are weird about when you discuss the Superman movie, because a lot of people are really weird about James Gunn. So many people have their different opinions on James Gunn. Like, people act weird. I think he's a big reason why. I think that's probably why people act so weird when you talk about that movie, and people get into different camps instead of just seeing it as a movie. Because like I was talking about earlier, people get like dishonest about and talk about things where it's like, were your eyes open? Were you paying attention to the movie? Like, again, if you don't like the movie, that's fine. I understand. But like, there are people who would be like, oh, Superman, all he did was get his ass beat and he was bad. Like, Mr. Terrific saved the day. And it's like, that's not at all what happened in the movie. He hadn't lost for 3 years, and the first person to beat him was someone as powerful as him with the mind of Lex. And then and then the entire movie, he's depowered, well, less powerful, because when he leaves the fortress, it tells him you're at like what 75% or whatever. So it's like he's less powerful throughout the movie because of that, and he still has insane feats throughout the movie, and he still is the one that saves the day. And at the end, Mr. Terrific is like, Superman, I need you. I can't stop this without you. Help me. And he needs Superman to come and save the day, and Superman does. It's like, did you watch the movie? Because that's what happens. But then you have people being like, Superman just got his ass beat the whole time. Mr. Terrific saved the day. It's like, you're an idiot. Like, what are we? Did you watch the movie? Do we think Tim Drake will ever recover if you like his characterization been so for the last 4 years? Tim Drake got hit with the gay, and that's really hard to recover from, because once you get hit with the gay, that's all you are, and you can't be anything more. It's like characters that start out as gay can be more, but characters that aren't gay and then partway through someone's like, let's make this guy gay, they don't recover. It doesn't happen. Tim Drake now, like, I didn't even know if Bernard was still around, and then this last issue, they're like, he's like, Bernard, the love of my life, I have to leave so I can go be with Bernard and not be Rob anymore. It's like, ugh. Like, even Alan, the JSA Green Lantern, he, like, back in the New 52, they made him gay. And still to this day, like, every storyline he's in is like, did you know he's gay? Like, in this, I'm really enjoying what Jeff Lemire's doing with JSA year one. It's really good. But the very beginning, like, some dude that he was banging dies. And they have to be like, hey, did you know Alan was do you know he was banging a man? And it's like, okay, yeah, we get it. He's gay. That's once you get hit with the gay, you go away. That's it. That's all you ever are. That's your only identity. Yeah, once you're gay, that's your only identity. Exactly. That's it. Again, characters can start out as gay, and then they can be more and all that. But if you aren't gay from the start, and then they hit you with the gay ray, that's it. It's over. It's Jover for you. You're done. It's unfortunate. And it doesn't feel like Tim Drake will recover from this. Sadly. To me, The Dark Knight is a better movie, but The Batman is a better Bat movie. I agree with that take. Like I said, I like The Dark Knight better, but I agree that I think The Batman does a Batman movie better. Especially, dude, I love Gotham in The Batman. I love the narration, too. And that's what's disappointing when you go from... Because I think, again, The Dark Knight is my favorite Batman movie, live action. But I think that, like, Batman Begins has such a cool-looking Gotham. And then The Dark Knight, it's like, welcome to Chicago. And then in The Batman, there's actually, like, a Gotham. And it's cool. So I really wish in The Dark Knight, Nolan would have tried to make it more Gotham and not just Chicago, you know? That would have been cool. Do you think AAA Superman game will ever happen? Hopefully. They've tried, but where do you rank Lego Batman against the live action movies? Like, in what way? Oh, the Lego Batman movie. I was thinking of the games. I was like, what comparison are we doing? Oh, the movie. I liked it. It was fun. I just remember they got a little too serious with, like, the message. Like, they got a little too preachy with, like, you know, the Batman can't be a loner, and it's about family and all that stuff. And it's like, I wish they would have just gone a little more into, like, hey, it's silly Lego Batman stuff. I enjoyed it, though. It doesn't rank too highly for me, but it was fun. I have not watched it since I saw it in the theater, though. I watched it when it came out in theaters. I have not seen it since. What sort of villain do you think should be adapted besides Brainiac? I mean, I would love to see Mongol. I think Mongol would be really cool. Parasite would be awesome. Love to see Parasite. There's a lot of Superman villains you could throw on there, but Mongol and Parasite are the first two that come to mind. I feel like you could do some cool stuff there, especially because they're a little different than, like, you know, Zod or Lex, which are the only two you ever get. Oh, Silver Banshee, yeah. How do you feel about Superboy Prime taking over main Superman? Because Superman's going to take over. Well, obviously at the end of KO, something's going to happen with Superman because he goes away. But I'm really liking Joshua Williamson's Superboy Prime. I really like it. I like his adventures with Lois. I've been really enjoying what he's done with Superboy Prime. So I'm interested to see how it goes. Hopefully Superman ain't gone for long though. Wow. I think Dark Knight Rises is overhated. Man, I was so disappointed in Dark Knight Rises. I was there at the midnight showing in IMAX, waiting in line because it was pre-reserved ticket. So I was waiting in line. I was so excited. And then I was so disappointed. The first like half of that movie's good. And then after the Talia reveal and everything, and like Bane like doesn't really become a character anymore, and Batman doesn't really even learn anything. He just heals from his broken back, climbs up a wall, and then is like, I can beat Bane now. It falls off a cliff after that. But when Bane is the main bad guy and you actually think he's a threat, it's really good. And then everything after that. But also, again, unfortunately, Nolan had to trash his plans for Dark Knight Rises because Heath Ledger died. So everything had to change. Because it's a shame we didn't get more Two-Face in that. Would have been cool to have more Two-Face. Because, you know, Joker, obviously everyone wants to see more Joker, but I would have liked to see more Two-Face. You know, see if he came back. Superboy Prime, like the one from Infinite Crisis? Yes, the one from Infinite Crisis. Do you think Chris Kent Zod's son was a good character? Yeah, I liked Chris Kent. I liked that. That was during Last Son of Krypton. I really liked that whole thing. Last Son of Krypton's so good. You got Kubert on art, and you got the whole Lex teaming up, and you see what Lex does to Kryptonians that aren't named Clark Kent. He just wastes them. It was great seeing like him take all these like ways he's devised to take out Kryptonians, to take out Superman, and actually put them to use because Superman's so good, and plot armor, obviously. Now being able to use them against Kryptonians and destroy them, that was really cool. Last Son of Krypton's so good. And this is a hot take now. I feel like Metallo's story, and I feel like he has more. Oh, Metallo would be cool also. I'd love to get John Corbin in there. Well, that's again, like, we're past the origin point now, but Superman's Secret Origin would make a great movie. You know, you have Lex, you have Parasite, you have Metallo. You know, that'd be a lot. That would be great. That's something that I think we need more of. I've talked about in prior videos a while ago, but I think a lot of these movies need to have more of like random villains just popping up. Like, instead of just like, here's the villain, he's the villain of the entire movie, have like, here's a dude robbing a bank. Like, Bloodsport sadly is a part of the movie, but you could do like Bloodsport just showing up like partway like in the movie if it wasn't, you know, Idris Elba Suicide Squad Bloodsport, but, you know, comic accurate Bloodsport. Like, you'd just be like, oh, Bloodsport's there and he shot a bunch of people and Superman just stops him, and like, all right, that's 15 minutes of the movie. Like, you know, like, this guy's robbing a bank or this guy's terrorizing people. Like, they're not like a whole movie threat, they're a smaller threat, but let's have that. Like, that'd be cool. I'd like to have that, you know? Like in The Dark Knight, when Scarecrow's just there at the beginning. It's like, it's cool that it's like, oh, we just have a Batman villain. You know, not every villain needs to be the villain of the entire movie. But I think that's how you can build out a rogues gallery, and you can set things up to be like, oh, this guy was someone he took out in 15 minutes, but then he becomes a bigger presence in a movie later on. Like, I think that'd be cool. Batman's definitely my favorite Bat movie. I like that. It was more detective and less big muscles punch thing. Yeah, I really like the detective story in the Batman. Dark Knight's still my favorite, but and like someone said earlier, I agree with that take. I think the Dark Knight's a better movie, but the Batman's a better Batman movie. But I enjoyed both of them. What was his original plan for Dark Knight Rises? I don't remember, but it involved Joker. You can go read about it. There's stuff online about it. I don't think like the whole like his whole plan is out there, but there's like inklings of it. You can see like he had set stuff up with Joker. I think there were some leaks about it. When was the last time you read Nightfall and or No Man's Land? I don't know, dude. It's been a while. I want to reread Nightfall though before the before the Jeremy Adams movie comes out, because they're doing that. So it's like, oh, I need to reread it because it's been years. It's been like at least like 9 years since I've read it. It's been a long time. You said you like Golden Age Superman more than Silver Age Superman. I ask why? Because I like the more like Superman is going around being like the champion of the oppressed, but also being very brazen about everything. Like, he's very much like, all right, I stopped this guy from doing a crime. All right, dude, if you do any other crime again, I will come back and paralyze you for life. And like, he's very like, I think that's really interesting. I think it's kind of funny too. I enjoy that compared to like, man, I sneezed and now these planets are out of alignment. I think it's the Golden Age Superman, like him going around and dealing with the threats he did at that time, like mobsters and stuff, and just being like this souped up dude, but not having the insane powers, and the way like his mentality for things, like he's so much more stern. I just enjoyed that. I like both, but I think Golden Age Superman is, I think that's where the sauce is at. When I see people talking about Silver Age Superman, I'm like, you should put that love towards Golden Age Superman. I think Golden Age Superman deserves it more. Have you read Joker's blogs? No, I have not. What are your thoughts on all the recent rumors surrounding the Dent family for the Batman Part 2? I've seen all that stuff. I mean, if we're doing Long Halloween again, because we did Long Halloween in The Dark Knight, and we did Long Halloween a little bit in the first The Batman, and now we're doing more Long Halloween. All right. Fine with it. We'll see how it goes. I like the casting, but I don't know. I'm interested to see what. I'm going to wait and hold any judgment until we get to the first trailer. But I'm excited. You like Chris Kent or John Kent more? Do you think it'd be cool if they became stepbrothers? I mean, I'd be down for Chris Kent to come back. I mean, John Kent got way more fleshed out, and then he got ruined. Thankfully, Chris didn't get ruined. I mean, I liked John Kent better before pre-Bendis, because all the work that Jurgens, Tomasi, and Gleason did on him. Like, I liked him a lot, and then they ruined him. I understand the Batman villains are more popular, but I think Superman's are better and cooler. 100% agree. I talked about it in a video a while ago where I said I think Superman has the best, he has my favorite rogues gallery. I really like Superman's rogues. And everyone always talks about, you know, Batman and Spider-Man. Thank you for the sub, DC Comics. I don't know why the alert doesn't pop up. It's there, but, you know. But I appreciate the sub. Anyways, yeah, I agree. I think Superman has a better rogues. I really like his rogues. It's just unfortunate because people who watch the movies are like, all he has is Zod and Lex. It's like, no, there's so many more. Superman villains are extremely underrated. Knightfight holds up. I recently read Annihilation. Both are so good. It's been a while since I've read it, but I remember really liking Knightfall. There's so many stories that like comic book Twitter and people nowadays will be like, oh, this one's really bad. This one sucks, but it doesn't hold up. It's all just slop or whatever. But it's like, no, you go back and read it, you're like, it's actually pretty good. Obviously, my biggest hot take is that Hush is actually good. I don't think it's the greatest comic ever written. I don't think Hush is a masterpiece or nothing, but I just went back and read it prior to Hush 2 coming out, and I like Hush. It's good. Jeff Loeb knows how to write a good comic book. Not all of his stuff is gas. Like, Hush 2 was terrible, but the first Hush, I like it. And I don't think it's purely just Jim Lee art, but I do like it. It's not as good as Long Halloween, but I like it. Which original Clark Kent you think you like more, Christopher Reeve's clumsy version or this the animated series version? I mean, the animated series just got cucked all the time. I liked Reeve's version better, but neither of those are my favorite. The animated series, like every time Bruce Wayne came into town, he got cucked. I hated I have a lot of issues with Superman the animated series. Do you think pre-Bendis John Kent is staying permanently in Superman Unlimited? I read the first like 4 or 5 issues of Unlimited, and I've dropped off. I haven't read it, so I don't even remember John Kent in there. Same, I read Hush before too. It's so good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. The first Hush is good. Like, I don't know why so many people hate on that book specifically. Like, you can like it. You don't have to be like, oh, it's terrible. It's only good art. Again, it's not the greatest of all time, but it's good. Like, it's intriguing. People get so bent out of shit. And also, I'm a Riddler fan, so I like the reveal at the end. Obviously, you see the Tommy Elliott thing coming a mile away. It's like, wow, there's a new villain. There's a new character, Bruce Wayne's best friend that came in. wow, I wonder who this guy is. But still, how everything plays out is interesting. I like the Riddler angle. I love Riddler being behind it. Especially, I really like it because Jeff Loeb felt bad about how he treated Riddler in his Halloween books. I like that. I was like, I kind of pushed him to the side, so I felt like I had to do something with him, and he gave him that. I was like, that's cool. I like that. Every movie has taken so much from it, but if Batman 2 was straight up page screen creation, I'd be down. Agreed. If the Batman 2 is just Long Halloween, just straight up adaptation, that'd be sick. Obviously, it won't be, but if they at least did it pretty close, that'd be cool. Like the Long Halloween, like there's a reason why. Like if once you read the Long Halloween and you go back and you like watch anything, you'd be like, oh man, like everything that's come out since the Long Halloween was published, like every Batman movie, like it was inspired by the Long Halloween in some one way or another. Like it's the Long Halloween's so good. You like calmer Burn Clark over pre-crisis clumsy Clark? Yes, I much prefer calmer Burn Clark. I much prefer that. So many people hate on Burn Superman. It's not perfect. Like there is some stuff in Burn Superman that I'm not the biggest fan of, but overall I like Burn Superman. I like what he did. I prefer post-crisis Superman to pre-crisis Superman, especially post-crisis Clark to pre-crisis Clark. I like what he did there. I love that stuff. I really enjoy that a lot more. Like it was all very one note pre-crisis, like Clark and what was done with the Daily Planet and everything with his relationship with them. It was pre-crisis Clark was not the best, but yeah. I also got some. I got them in the other room. I forgot to grab them. I got this week. I got Absolute Watchmen, so I have the Absolute Edition, the big oversized Watchmen, because I was like, I kind of want to reread Watchmen. I haven't read it in a while, and I have the normal paperback, but I was like, if I'm gonna reread Watchmen, because I haven't read it since 2014. I think 2014 was the last time I read Watchmen, so it's been over a decade since I've last read Watchmen. Because I was thinking I should reread it. I was like, I don't want to reread my paperback. I should see if there's an Absolute Edition. There is. I found a really beat up version on Amazon. I mean, on eBay, because it was the cheapest. It was the original printing, not the. They've done a new edition since. I found it for pretty cheap. It's a little beat up, but the inside's all good. So I was like, I'll get that, and I got that. So I'm excited to reread that. And then I also got Amazon had on sale the Denny O'Neil Question omnibuses. Both of them were cheaper than normal. Because I have like a bunch of omnibuses and stuff on my wish list, and I'll like browse and be like, oh, what's cheaper than? Oh, this is cheaper. And I saw that. It's like, ooh. So I got those for like, I think I combined like $120 for both omnibuses total. It was like a pretty good deal. So I got some excited to read those. Got some cool stuff. Yeah, this week there was some good comic books. I would say, as far as what I read this week, what I would recommend. Let's go through what I'd recommend. I'd recommend Absolute Superman number 16. I'd recommend Batman number 6. I'd recommend Ultimate Wolverine number 14. I'd say Knightfight number 4. I'd recommend Knightfight number 4. I wouldn't say it was the best or anything, but I enjoyed it. And then I'd recommend JSA number 16. And I think that's it from this week. There weren't really any indies that I read that came out this week, sadly. It's not a great week for indies as far as indies that I read. But some pretty good DC stuff. And I need to read Logan Black, White, and Blood number 2, because that has a Ben Percy story in it. So I'll check that out, but I haven't read that yet. And I kind of want to read, Matt Kent has a new series. I think Night City number 1 came out this week, so I need to read that. Haven't read that yet, though. But yeah, pretty good DC week, especially because last week there was some good stuff but not some great stuff. But this week there's some really good stuff with Absolute Superman, Batman, and JSA. Some stuff worth checking out. My favorite non-main story Watchmen comic is Darwin Cook's Minuteman. Nice, I haven't read it. Completely agree about that. Triangle Era is great. I have the first 2 omnibuses. I don't know if they've announced the 3rd one yet. Hopefully we get that soon. But the Triangle omnibus is great. And that was one of my that was what I mentioned in my anime video when talking about, because so many people, because I talked about how manga, big reason it's so popular is because you have one-to-one adaptations of the manga into anime, and so people watch the anime and they go read the manga. and it gets people into it, new readers. It's like comics doesn't have that, and a lot of people in the comments and everything, even though I said it in the video, a lot of people in the comments are like, well, that's because you just started issue 1, it's all the same writer, blah blah blah. And it's like, well, like I said in the video, for comics, if you want to do it, you just do a certain era, you just do a certain run. Like you could just do triangle. I said it in the video, you could do the triangle era of Superman. You'd have so many episodes you could do. You just adapt those issues, and you'd have seasons upon seasons of Superman. A lot of great stuff. It'd be great. But yeah, I agree. I would love to see that version of Clark Kent on the big screen. The problem is they don't want to deal with secret identities. Every time they're like, all right, here's a new Superman. Lois instantly knows a secret identity, and they're together, and we're not using any of the actual tension stuff or the interesting stuff of like Clark having to win her over, Clark having to hide his secret identity, the morality of it, of like, is he lying? Is he technically not lying? Because he's not saying he's not Superman, he's just not saying he is Superman, and all that stuff. But you take away all that because it's like, even James Gunn just did it. They did it in Man of Steel. They did it in the original Superman with Christopher Reeve. They do it every time, and it annoys the heck out of me so much. That was my big complaint when the first Superman trailer came out, because you saw that she's like in the trailer, you see that she knows Superman and Clark are on the same. And I said it in my video when I talked about the trailer. I was like, this worries me. I don't like this, and they do it every time. Best Ghost Machine book out of the 3, Geiger, Rook Exodus, and Red Coach. Which one is the best to you? Man, at different times I have different answers, but currently I'll say, because Rook just came back and Geiger just started a new arc, in they all just kind of refreshed. Red Coat just started a new arc. Geiger just started a new arc, and Rook Exodus just came back like in October. But also I think I feel like we've gone a little bit without a new Rook comic, haven't we? I feel like Rook's been on a hiatus again. Let's see. I feel like it's been a bit. When did the last issue of Rook Exodus come out? I feel like they came back and then. Let's see. Oh no, it came out. So yeah, we have been. We didn't get one. We didn't get one in January. That's what it was. Yeah, so we've got them up. We skipped January. We got one in December. We skipped January. Man, but right now, I guess I would say Rook Exodus, but that's also probably because it's the only one that we're a little bit into. Because Redcoat just restarted with a new arc, and Geiger also just restarted with a new arc. So I'd say Rook is probably my favorite right now, but overall, I'd say Geiger's my favorite. But Geiger's also the one that's most fleshed out because we've had like a bunch of different series for it. The 2 newest issues are great, and that was pretty cool, that reveal of what happened in the last issue with who came back and how that's going to set up, and that's setting up the new arc. Also, Redcoat showing up in that last issue of Geiger. Seeing Gary Frank draw Redcoat was really cool. So yeah, I'm excited. Getting closer to more of the Unknown War stuff is great. I love Ghost Machine, dude. I love Ghost Machine. And I'm excited for the Redcoat movie. I really hope they get a good director, dude. If they announce like some bullshit ass director, like, oh, from the guy that made the last Pirates of the Caribbean movie and Tron Ares, it's like, no. Hopefully they get someone good. If they get a good filmmaker to make the Redcoat movie, I'll be excited. Please. Because, like, man, I really enjoy Redcoat a lot. Also, like, I really like my favorite stuff from Redcoat, though, are the one-off stories. Like, I love, like, the Annie Oakley, Johnny Appleseed stuff. I really like the arcs as well, but the one-off stuff is my favorite. And I'm excited for Redcoat movie, but I feel like Redcoat would have made a great show because, again, each episode you're just doing something different, and it would be really cool. But yeah, Redcoat's been great. And Brian Hitch, shout out to Brian Hitch. He hasn't taken, like, I don't think they've had any delays. I know they haven't had any fill-in artists really, compared to, Gary Frank and Jason Fabok, who I think are, in my opinion, I prefer their art to Brian Hitch. But Brian Hitch at least is there every issue, to where Jason Fabok needed like 6 months off for Rook Exodus, and Gary Frank also needs his breaks, to where Brian Hitch is just a machine, dude. He's there every issue, so I think that's cool. thoughts on the Northerner? I like the Northerner. I think he's really interesting, seeing more of his backstory and where he came from and how he doesn't even know who he's really working from. Just guns appear in a duffel bag. I think he's a really interesting character. I'm excited to learn more about him. I liked getting to know more of him. It is kind of like Assassin's Creed. That's a good point. It is like Assassin's Creed. But I like the Northerner. I think he's pretty cool. Have you heard about the Redcoat movie? Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. I hope we get a good filmmaker for it. That's the thing. It's like all this dies if it's like some crappy ass filmmaker. And then it all's for nothing. Redcoat show would be great. Still on a Gotham Central Cop show. Yeah, dude. Get it. Dude, freaking I mean, Ed Brubaker's the showrunner on his own comic on Criminal. So maybe if he does a good job with that, DC should hit him up and be like, hey, you want to be showrunner on Gotham Central? That'd be cool. I had a good amount of time to catch on to Redcoat. You should. Redcoat's definitely worth it. Redcoat's been great. All the Ghost Machine stuff I've read has been great. I really like Hyde Street. I really like Redcoat. I really like Geiger. I really like Rook Exodus. And then the Rockefellers has been pretty good. It's been getting better. Because the Rockefellers' problem was kind of pacing. It was like really slow at first, but these last few, ever since we essentially got like the flashback issues, it's been pretty good. I've really enjoyed it. Have you seen Wonder Man? No, I have not. Once James Gunn fails, maybe someone can do a Gotham detective show. Well, dude, if the Netflix thing goes through, who knows what's going to happen with DC? I have no clue how that's... Hopefully it doesn't. I hope Paramount bitches and complains enough that the Netflix doesn't get Warner Brothers, because that'd make me very sad. I hate how a lot of Netflix movies are really bad and how they do their things, and also I hate that they put the few movies they do put in theaters, they put them for such a short amount of time, and I don't trust Netflix when they say, no, we'll keep the theater window the same. I don't trust them at all. And their lack of putting movies on Blu-ray. They'll occasionally put some of their movies on Blu-rays, but most of them aren't. I hate all that. It's like that makes me sad. If I have to have Netflix for everything, that makes me very sad. I don't like that. So I'm hopeful Netflix doesn't get it. I'd much prefer basically anyone else. But yeah, we'll see what happens with all the James Gunn. The James Gunn, like, the thing that baffles me about James Gunn is what he prioritized to get made. I don't get why, like, because Superman, all right, makes sense. But then it's like, next we're gonna do a Clayface movie. We're gonna do a Supergirl movie based off the Tom King comic. We're gonna do a Green Lantern show, but it's not really Green Lantern. But Hal is going to be 60 years old. We're basically going to parallax him instantly so we can focus on John. Also, it's going to be grounded in a TV show, live action, and it's going to be more detective work. It's like, you could have just done a Gotham Central show, or you could have done a Question show. You could have done a Chimp show. Like, there's so many different characters that are detectives in Detective Comics that you could have used. Instead, you chose the Space Cops? What? I don't get his order. And also, Peacemaker season 2 is the next. What? I don't understand, like, why he did what he did with, as far as spacing everything out and being like, here's the order of things. Like, Superman first off makes sense. Everything after that, I don't understand. Makes no sense. If they ever do an animated series for Ghost Machine titles, it has to be a one-to-one adaptation. Get it in writing. I agree. Really, Rockefellers, it feels like, would be prime for it. Rockefellers and Hyde Street feels like they would both be prime for animated shows. I feel like those two would work really well for an animated show. And you could do any of them animated, like if you get the art style right. But I really feel like Rockefellers and Hyde Street would be great for animation. I think those would work really well. I think Ghost Machine can make comics cool then, especially with more adaptions. Hopefully, if they can get people checking them out, because the quality isn't the problem. I see people, especially when I made that anime video, I see some people talking about, well, the quality of comics isn't there. It's like, there are some really terrible comics out there. There's a lot of them, especially at Marvel. But there's also, like, the quality is there. Like I said in my video, Ghost Machine, what Rick Remender's doing with his imprint, what Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips are doing with all their stuff, like, the quality is there. Like, that's outside of DC and Marvel. That quality is incredible. Like, the quality is there. It's just the popularity isn't. And I talked last year I went to Dallas Fan Expo and I met Peter Tomasi. I talked to him about it. And he's like, because I brought him some Rockefellers to sign, and I brought him Ghost Machine #1, the Ghost Machine #1 special that they did. I brought him for that to sign. And I talked to him. He's like, "What do you think of the Ghost?" Like he asked me, "What do you think of the Ghost Machine stuff?" I was like, "I'm loving everything from it." I was like, "But the thing is, like when I talk to people, I told him I was like, when I talk to people about it outside of my YouTube audience, because you guys are reading comics, but when I talk to other people about it, it's like a lot of people haven't even heard about it or don't even know." And I was like, "I hope more people can get into it because it's really good." And he said, "Yeah," he's like, "I feel like we rung the bell pretty loud, but it just for some reason a lot of people didn't hear about it or aren't checking it out." He said it seems like it's going to take for us to get some sort of adaptation to really legitimize us, to get like a movie or TV show. That's what Tomasi said. And now and this was before the Red Coat movie was announced. And now with the Red Coat movie happening, hopefully it's big and people check out the comics. Hopefully that happens. But yeah, I hope it happens because Ghost Machine's great. Just the sales aren't too great. When it should be. More people should be reading it. Netflix ruins pretty much everything, but just the layout what DCU wants to do is very incoherent. Yeah, the layout makes no sense. Well, yeah. He also said DCU is more like Star Wars than the MCU. I don't even know what that means. That doesn't make any sense. Certain people always compare Thor to Superman. I'm curious what your opinion on him. I think he is one of the best characters in Marvel. Have a lot of great or at least solid run. I like Thor. I think he's pretty cool. He's not my favorite or anything. I haven't read a whole ton of Thor, but I've read some of Simonson's. I read oh man, what's his name? Why am I blank? I've read Donny Cates' run. I read some Thor, but I like Thor. I'm just not the hugest fan of him or anything. I've read some of the original Thor stuff, some of the OG Thor. What are your thoughts on Dark Patterns? How it's finished? The art was incredible. I really loved what Hayden Sherman did there, and I think his art fits that perfectly. Because his stuff on Absolute Wonder Woman, I don't think his style fits Absolute Wonder Woman all too well. It's not bad. I just don't think his style kind of clashes with that. But for that world, for that like sort of throwback Batman, fit perfectly. And overall, I really liked it. I thought it was really good. This is my second favorite Batman comic from last year because Batman and Robin was my favorite. But I really like Dark Patterns. I liked how it did the little 3-issue arcs and stuff. And I think probably my favorite arc was probably the Scarface arc. That was probably my favorite. I really like that one, the ventriloquist arc. What comic movie have you had the biggest change in opinion for since you first saw it? That's a good question. That's a really good question. Probably the Wolverine, because I then saw the director's cut and I liked it much more. And also after Logan came out and everything, I feel like I appreciate the Wolverine. I think the Wolverine's probably the answer to that question. Because when I saw the Wolverine, I was so disappointed by it. That third act is so bad. And I was so excited for it because James Mangold, it was, where we know what we messed up on with X-Men Origins Wolverine. This is going to be good. It's based on, Claremont Miller's Wolverine. And then it was not that. But then when I saw the director's cut, I was like, oh, this is way better. It still has that stupid third act, but it's not quite as bad. And I that's probably the one I had the biggest turnaround on. But as far as without like seeing a new cut or anything, if there's a comic movie that I just had a change of opinion on after it came out, I don't know about. I can't think of. Maybe Captain America: First Avenger, because I remember thinking Captain America: First Avenger was good, but I didn't think it was that great or anything. And then when I've rewatched it since, I was like, this is really good. Maybe that. Have you ever read the Mouse comic? No, I haven't. I see it everywhere, and I see it on every list, and everyone talks about how good it is, but I haven't read it. Are you looking forward to Avengers Doomsday or not? Not really looking forward to it. I hope it's good, but I don't really have any trust in it, because Feige's everything up, and the Russo brothers have failed to make a good movie outside of the MCU. So don't really have especially them having to be like everything we've tried failed. We're going back to the old characters. Thor sucks. Nah, dude, Thor's cool. Been reading Spider-Man starting for issue 1. I'm now on Larson run. It's not nearly as good as Todd McFarlane's. Dang, you're going starting at number 1. That's pretty cool. Nice. Why? But the line from Man of Steel is funny to me where Zod says, "Where do you train? On a farm?" That's a great line. I love that. I love that, dude. Whenever Zod's monologuing, it's great. I love his monologue when they're out there in like the desolate area right before they get into their big Metropolis fight. I love that part where he's like, "I have no more people." Ooh. I never read Triangle Era Superman. Is it good? It's great. You should definitely read Triangle Era Superman. It's great. You read all that, you get into it, and you go through Death of Superman, and oh man, Triangle Era Superman's great. Not every single issue is a banger or the best thing ever, but it's really good. I really like Triangle Era Superman. There's a lot of cool stuff in it. Biggest change of pain is Thor Dark World. After seeing the last versions, I had longed for a new Dark World. Yeah, actually, another. I haven't rewatched it in a while, but one that like I feel like I'd have that thought on is Iron Man 2, because Iron Man 2 I hated when it came out, but I feel like if I went and rewatched Iron Man 2 since all the MCU slop that's happened, I'd be like, I treated you too harshly, Iron Man 2. Doomsday gotta be 3 hours. Oh, for sure. Doomsday is definitely gonna be a long ass movie. Interested to see what Feige's got to go. They're not going to get rid of him because of everything that he did initially with Marvel, but Feige should go. I was not a fan of Superman Blue Era. It's funny to go back and reread, but I was not a fan of Superman Blue Era. No, didn't really care for it. Not my personal favorite. What do we got next week? What comics come out next week? I should look that. Let's see. Come on. Load. Next. Oh, we got KO number 4. So we got the end of KO next week. We got more Batman and Robin. We got Geiger number 21. Let's go. Cyclops number 1. That's interesting. I forgot that was announced like Comic-Con, right? Man, Marvel has mishandled the X-Men so poorly. Constantly. Ooh, Alien vs. Captain America number 4. Alien vs. Captain America has been really good if you haven't been reading that. From Frank Thierry, that's been surprisingly good. That's a fun book. We got more G.I. Joe Real American Hero next week. More Rockefellers. Jar Jar number 1 next week. Mark Guggenheim and Ahmed Best. Okay. Jar Jar returns, co-written by Jar Jar himself. Ahmed Best. Jar Jar faces the consequences of getting emerging powers to Chancellor Palpatine. What pivotal role does Jar Jar play in the formation of the Rebel Alliance? Guest starring fan favorite Jedi Knight Keller and Beck. $4 for a Jar Jar. Okay. Interesting. More Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger. Alright, so there's some good comics coming out next week. Looking forward to the conclusion of KO and to Geiger. But also Batman and Robin. Those are probably the 3. Excited for that. Oh, wait. Let's see. Interesting to see how that goes. I'm ready for K to be over. I am too, because of all the like tie-ins and everything. I thought they were gonna do a lot better. They overcomplicate it. Like we want to see action figures banging together. Essentially, we wanted to see fights, and they went out of their way to give us everything but that. So all that stuff has annoyed me. Like I've been very displeased. Like I think the main KO title is good, but everything surrounding it has been ass for the most part, outside of a few things here or there. I've been very disappointed with that. I want to read more Superman. I've only read Birthright, All-Star, and for all seasons. Is there any omnibus that you'd recommend to a relatively new Superman reader? I would say get the... Let's see how much it is right now, actually, before I recommend this. Get if you have some change, if you have a chunk of change, which if you're asking for an omnibus, you got some money. The Absolute Superman by Jeff Johns, Gary Frank. I would say get that. That gets Superman's Secret Origin. That's got Superman and the Legion of Superheroes. That got some of the new Krypton stuff in there. That's really good, and that'll get you. That's 664 pages. Some really great Superman stories in there. It's Jeff Johns and Gary Frank, and it's the Absolute Edition, so it's oversized. I would recommend getting that. But as far as a normal omnibus goes, you could get the Superman Rebirth omnibus from that's really good. Or you could get the Triangle Era omnibus, the first Triangle Era omnibus. So those are, I'd say choose one of those three. I'd say get the Jeff Johns, Gary Frank Absolute Superman, get that, or get the Tomasi and Gleason Rebirth Superman omnibus, or the Triangle omnibus, the Triangle Era. Can't go wrong with any of those. All really good Superman in there. What's going on in KO right now? We're down to the final four. We're down to the final four of the tournament. So it's Joker versus Wonder Woman and Superman versus Lex Luthor. Technically, but also not really, because first they're going to be taking on the Absolute Trinity. So they're taking on the Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman. So we'll see how it goes, because the tournament has been like, here's the bracket, and here's going to face who, but not really, because they throw in curveballs every single time. So I don't know if, like, because you'd think, Wonder Woman would just pound the piss out of Joker, and that wouldn't even be a fight. And Superman, takes on Lex every single day. So it's like, what's going to happen in the tournament? So we'll see how that all plays out. But that's where we're at right now. So we're down to the final four, and the winner reshapes the DC universe and their image. Why does every single X-Men character need their own book? They can't sell Getty, but we're going to put out 37 other books with the SMH because Marvel's just a mess and they have no idea what they're doing. It's stupid. Yeah, I know a lot of people love Transformers, what's going on right now, but I don't care about Transformers. I don't care. How do you feel about Dan Waters running Nightwing right now? I have not been a fan of what he did. I did a video on it a while ago talking about how I wasn't a fan of what he was doing, but I'd keep going, and I dropped off a few issues ago. I haven't read it in a while. I probably should catch up and see how it is, but especially with the announcement of the new artist, because the main reason I was reading it was because I liked Dexter Soy on it. I thought he was great. Dan Waters, great on Batman Dark Patterns. I have not been a fan of his Nightwing. It's not like the worst thing ever. It's just not very good. I've had to hunt down some of the KO tie-ins because they sold out fast, which I hadn't after reading them. Yeah. The only KO tie-ins that are really worth reading are the Aquaman versus Hawkman tie-in. I like the Superman stuff, the Joshua Williamson Superman tie-ins, and that's basically it. All the others would not really recommend. And that Wonder Woman versus Lobo was terrible. The Kids Are All fight was really bad. Where do I start in Legion of Superheroes? Man, I think they did an omnibus for I think there's a Legion omnibus you could start with. But the Legion, I had so I watched the Superman Legion of Superheroes TV show when I was a kid, and so that gave me a basis for the Legion, and then I just jumped in with the Great Darkness saga, and that's how I started. But you could do that if you can hunt down the show. I don't know if the show is on anything. I don't know if it's even on anything, but I don't know where. I think you can also, though, you could just go back and honestly, I think Legion's one of those ones you can start with issue 1. You can start from the start with Legion. That's probably the best way to do it. But that was how I did it. I started with the show when I was a kid, and that's what got me into Legion of Superheroes. And then I read Great Darkness Saga and some other stuff. And I've read, obviously, Superman Legion of Superheroes. And you recommend Kurt Busiek Superman? Yeah, Kurt Busiek Superman's great. Yeah, you can pick. They did 2 collections for Kurt Busiek Superman, and he co-wrote Superman Up and Away, which is my favorite Superman story ever. So you read that. How the hell Joker made it that far? Complete bullshit is how. It's really stupid. At the beginning, in issue 1 of KO, when they're all racing to make it to the tournament, because it's 32 people, I think was what it was, get to be in the tournament, and you eventually just have to cross a finish line to get in. And in the beginnings, it's a bunch of heroes and villains, and Superman is going out of his way to take out a bunch of the villains so they can't make across the storyline. For some reason, he doesn't prioritize Joker. He instantly should take Joker and just chuck him and just be like, all right, Joker's taken out. It would take him that long to take Joker and just place him 200 miles away. It would be like that for Superman, you know, because he moves so fast. He could do it easily and be like, all right, now I don't have to worry about Joker. Instead, they don't have him do that because Scott Snyder wanted to have Joker in there meddling with things. But yeah, Joker, there are several things in this comic where it's like, why is that? That doesn't make any sense. But the Superman and Lex stuff in the main KO title has been really good. I've liked that stuff. But a lot of the outside stuff in the surroundings has not been the best. It's stupid. But yeah, I've been going for about an hour and a half. Thank you guys so much for chilling with me. This was fun. Kind of just spur of the moment. I was like, I have time and I haven't streamed on YouTube since Christmas Eve when I did Batman Arkham Origins. But yeah, hopefully I can stream more because I always say that and I don't do it. But if I can find time, I would like to. And I want to, because I bought Spider-Man 2, the Insomniac Spider-Man 2 when it was on sale. I was like, I haven't played it yet. I need to. But why is my chat behind the chat on the screen? What the heck? Since I started, these are the most confusing to read chronologically. Please. Oh man, I love Jeremy Adams and Nightwing. Yes, X-Men is so hard to read because it's really stupid. But essentially, all I need to know is read Claremont X-Men, then don't read anything past it. A lot of people will tell you to read a Grant Morrison X-Men. I don't even think that's necessary. But yeah, I think Jeremy Adams and Nightwing would be awesome. I want to see Starman if they ever make a Legion movie. My favorite unread DC characters. That'd be cool. See a mystery. Thanks for stopping by. What up, Logan? Yeah, we're about to end here. Spider-Man 2 was too gay for me. Unfinished. I didn't care for the first one. I thought the first one was like a 6 out of 10 game at best for me. Like, I had heard it's one of the best comic book video games ever, and it was so good. And I finally played it, you know, when it got ported over to PC. I was like, man, I don't think this compares to even the worst Arkham game. Like, I think Arkham Knight and Arkham Origins are miles ahead of Insomniac Spider-Man. I don't think it's very good.
Pizza time.
Here's the $5 you saved me on the KO boss battle that I will not be grabbing tomorrow now. Appreciate it. Thank you, Bryson. Much appreciated for the $5. Yeah, KO boss battle, not worth. It was very disappointing. Even though it's Jeremy Adams, I was excited. It was not worth. But no, literally gay? Oh. Well, doesn't surprise me. Remember when they had all the pride flags in the Spider-Man game, but then like the Saudi Arabian version, they didn't have the pride flags? Wonder what that's about, dude. Wonder what that's about. That's crazy. How'd that happen? That was funny. Then I think someone did like a mod for it on Nexus. And I think they might have taken that mod off of Nexus mods. They're like, you can't take the pride flag away. Unless you're a Muslim, then it's cool. But otherwise, that was funny. Last round. Are you reading TMNT last round? Is that what you're talking about? TMNT last round was great. And I can't wait for... We're still getting a game for that, right? Or that get canceled? Because I know like some TMNT stuff got canceled. Hopefully we're still getting the TMNT last round game. Because that'd be sick. Also, I can't wait for the Snake Eyes game. I can't wait, dude. Who you like to play as a deaf girl in Spider-Man 2? Oh, that chick? No. I hated playing as Mary Jane in the first game. That was awful, dude. I hated that. Man, I was so mad at playing as Mary, and I heard you play as Mary Jane even more in the second game, which makes me upset. Yeah, here's the, if anyone, here, let me go to I'm gonna put in the chat for anyone that didn't watch it, because I am going to end here in a few minutes. Here, I just put a link in the chat, so I just pinned it. So that is, if you didn't watch me play Spider-Man the first time, that was just a recap video I basically made after I played it 3 years ago. I did like a little 12-minute video with just some highlights from it. So if you want to watch me play Spider-Man 1 the first time, if you missed like the streams, that's just a little 12-minute video. That will give you a good look at my thoughts on the game, my feelings on it. So there's that. So you can click that link and watch that. Movie is what got canceled. Okay. Well, hopefully the game's still going, because the last running game would be awesome. Are you excited for Wolverine? I'm not excited for Wolverine because it's Insomniac again, and I didn't care for their... I didn't care for their Spider-Man, so I'm not too excited for their Wolverine. And so much of it has been leaked, which is hilarious. I could play it right now if I wanted to, but I don't feel like it. You can go out there and download it, play on PC, like the leaked build of it. Still got finished Shattered Dimension. Yeah, no one was coming to those streams. So I was like, I'm just not even gonna bother because I've obviously played Shattered Dimensions years and years ago, but I was replaying it on stream and it was like no one was watching. It's like, so all right, I'm not gonna bother streaming it if no one's gonna show up. There's no point. So, but I will stream Spider-Man 2, and hopefully people show up for that. We'll see. We shall see. But all right, I think I am going in now. Thank you to everyone who showed up for the stream. This was really fun. Hopefully I get to do this more. I had a good time. And yeah, I will see you guys later. Everyone have a good night. Everyone have a good rest of your week. And yeah, see you guys. Peace, everyone. I got a delay because there's a huge delay on YouTube, so I got a delay before I end it.